Hello, I'm John Coleman from ApocatastasisInstitute, an Institute for the Humanities, an alternative college and high school here on New Milford, Connecticut, USA. This live broadcast, thanks to your generosity and recording, is a continuation of Euclid Today with Professor Adam Myers and myself as we make our way through Euclid's Elements. Today, we're getting through Proposition 18, 1-8. And week by week, we are making our way through this classic book. And I mean a classic book. I mean like the classical world, 300 BC. And little by little, we're biting our way through it. And Adam and I are both normalizing nudity here. And I thought to use the occasion with about 2 weeks to go to advertise. Everyone gets one recording, that we do have our annual hike, our naturist hike on the solstice coming up. So if you're around New York, we're going to be going to Harriman State Park on the 20th of June. And it's our biggest event of the year. It's typically well attended. 30, 40 souls come out and have a good time hiking and swimming and all of this thing. So I thought I would get that in, and so I have. So now we get to the real meat of the matter. And one more thing, and probably more important, before we see what's Adam been up to, and that is both Adam and Vandana Rotaria do math tutoring at the Institute. And in fact, frankly, one of the reasons we do this series, besides the importance of Euclid, the perennial importance of Euclid, is also to make a reference and a repeated and a regular, that's a lot of R's, regular reference to the tutorials, the math tutorials we have at the Institute. And both Adam and Vandana are eminently qualified for their student populations. Adam for the older ones, Vandana for the younger. So do keep that in mind, and please write us with any questions. With all of that being said, Adam has resurrected from his nap, his post-work nap, and has kindly joined us here. So how you doing, Adam?
Hanging in there,
Oh, yes. How's the weather out there? It's been raining cats and dogs here in Connecticut lately.
That's actually how we were. That's how was our weather like about a week or so ago. So
Okay.
now it's been kind of dry, so seems all right.
All right, so there you go. It all shakes out to the summer eventually. I saw one firefly. I've not seen a firefly in Connecticut for probably 10 years. I saw one firefly the other night, and so that's my big accomplishment lately. All right, so let me get our Euclid on the screen, and we did look at Proposition 17 last time around, and now we soldier on. I will be muting this for the sake of audio. Adam, please take it away and let me know what directions you require.
All right. Well, this is another one of those postulates that are going to, or sorry, prepositions that are going to get used later. We're still building our tools. We've seen some of the stuff come together, but we're still making some more tools. All right, so basically what we want to do is show that there's a relationship between angle size and the length of the side. And the relationship is that if you have an angle that's the largest angle, it's going to be the opposite of the side with the largest length. These two facts coincide, and that's basically what we're going to be demonstrating. And this is just true in general. Like the size of the angle is directly correlated with the length of the length of the opposite side. So if the second biggest angle is going to have the second longest side opposite to it. All right, that's the direction we're heading in with this proof. We're not really doing a lot of constructions. We're just kind of walking through it. It's pretty straightforward. What we're going to do is we're going to assume that the side AC is bigger than AB, and we're going to use that to derive the fact that ABC, the angle, is bigger than BCA. Okay. And that's really all we're going to do. All right, since AC is bigger than AB, we can create a length segment of length AB on line AC, and we're going to call that AD. Okay, and that's going to create, if you know your high school geometry, that's going to create what's called an isosceles triangle, because both AB and AD are going to be the same size. Okay, once we join BD, we're then going to use this fact that since the angle ADB is an exterior angle of the triangle BCD, therefore it is greater than the interior and opposite angle DCB. Okay, that's pretty useful information. But the angle ADB equals the angle ABD. Sorry, ADB equals ABD. Sorry, will sound pretty similar. Since the side AB equals AD, therefore the angle ABD is also greater than the angle ACB. And therefore, and if by construction we built ABD to be shorter than ABC, we therefore conclude that ABC is larger than ACB. That's the proof. It's pretty straightforward. We used our postulate from 16 and our postulate from 5 to make this happen. And 3, but most of 16 and 5, they did most of the heavy lifting.
And do we need the notes down here? Do they help us here? Do we need to go through these ones, or it's pretty straightforward? It sounds like up here.
From my understanding, most of that's translation. It seems like it's interesting given the Greek language.
Okay, I see. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So this is all that end of things. Okay, not so much of the math as the language.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This would actually be your prime time to shine. I don't really know anything about Greek.
Well, I've already gotten in my one plug, but I am dusting off my Greek books, and I will be, in fact, offering some introductory tutorials in Greek. But it's a little bit down the road before we get to Euclid, I'm afraid. But that day will come. That day will come, and we'll get to our New Testament and to our Homer. Dare we even approach Homer? But little baby steps, just like we're doing with Euclid. But yeah, eventually I'll be able to field strip the grammar of Euclid's elements there. So I don't know if I mentioned this before as we knock off here, but Greek is the only language that doesn't have only like historical language, let's say, or classical language, that doesn't have a spin-off language. You know, like Latin has all of like the Romance languages, or German has English, and there's these families of languages. Greek doesn't. Greek is the only classical language that doesn't have these children languages. It's quite interesting. It just gets more complicated and more precise as it goes along. Little tidbit for your cap there.
Okay, well that's kind of neat. I was not aware of that.
All right, so enough of the Greek there, but there's our math. And anything else you'd like to bring up, Adam, as we bring the bird down for this week's installment of Euclid Today?
Not much. Like I said, thankfully today is a pretty straightforward preposition. We're going to have more complicated prepositions later. They're going to use this information. But for now, it's pretty straightforward.
Very good. And just off the cuff, you'll forgive the cheesy pun, off the cuff, Adam, are you able to tutor, in case anyone's interested, for standardized tests, the Iowa tests or the SATs or things like that?
Sure. My focus is more on general math content, but I can focus on that on request.
Okay, grand. All right, well, you know how to contact us, audience. Type away, and we'll get you set up with Professor Myers. So anyway, thank you, audience, and thank you, Adam, especially for dropping in here.
Thank you.